Vanakkam. Greetings from K.S. Rangasamy College of Technology. Myself, Mrs. S. Chandralekha, working as Assistant Professor under Department of Mechatronics Engineering. Today, we are going to see a module under the course Industrial Health and Hygiene. The contents that we are going to see is occupational health, that is called as industrial health, toxicity, exposure limits and levels, and routes of entry. Learning outcome, the learner will be able to know about industrial health and understand the significance of exposure limit. So what is occupational health or what is industrial health? Normally, when the term health comes, normally people will address or refer to the physical state. Whether we are okay, we are normal, do we have any pain or ache or else a fever. So normally people will just ask whenever a terminology comes like health, immediately people will imagine the physical state of the individual or else the physical state of the worker. So when we ask others also, how is your health? That we will refer to the physical state. But the thing that we have to consider at these days or at today's world is whenever health comes to our mind, we have to focus both on physical state and also the mental state. So health is a combination of the physical state and the mental state. If the mental state of the individual or else the worker is very good, even if the physical state is not up to the mark, the mental state will be the driving force for that particular individual and they will accomplish the task. Whereas the vice versa, if the physical state is very good, but whereas if the mental state is not good, whether he may be depressed or stressed or anxious, what happens is the mental state will stop the physical state to perform efficiently. Automatically, there creates some unsafe act and they may be the reason for the unsafe condition prevailing and accident happens. So whenever it comes to an health, from now onwards, please consider health as a combination of both physical state and mental state. So both clubbed together, if both are in the good condition, then only an individual or else the worker can accomplish their task effectively, both in personal life as well as the professional life. Next, toxicity. So what is toxicology? Toxicology is nothing but the study of adverse effects of the chemicals on the living systems. So normally we will be doing this toxicity test on the laboratory animals when we create a product, right? So that is what this toxicology is letting us know, to check whether is there any adverse effects due to the usage of these particular chemical or else the material. And toxicity is nothing but the ability of the substance to cause the harmful effects. Normally, four properties are there. One is flammability, explosibility, reactivity, and corrosivity. And added to that, we have this toxicity, which has a more threat to the life of the people. Then, mainly, this toxicity, this depends on four factors. One is the chemical structure, whether it is a single bonded or triple bond or double bond, how the structure is associated. So that chemical structure, that plays a vital role in determining the toxicity of that particular material or else that particular chemical that we are involved in. Second one is the extent to which the substance is exposed or observed by the body, that individual person, how he or she is exposed to that particular toxicity. And the third one is the body's ability. What is how the immunity system of that particular individual is. The body's ability to detoxify. So some, they may be good and hale and healthy, so their body can respond to this and they can fight against this particular toxicity and recover fast. But for some people who are already ill, they will not have an effective immune system to fight on exposing to these toxic things, and it will give an adverse effects on their health. And the fourth one is elimination of toxic substances from the body. So how the substance how this substances, how, I mean, say for example, we are exposed to some sort of toxicity. So ways and means to eliminate that toxicity from our body. So how to detoxify it? So that is the another point. So normally this toxicity depends on the four factors. I repeat, one is chemical structure, next one is extent to which substance is exposed or observed by the body, and next one is body's ability to detoxify, and final one is the elimination of the toxic substance from the body. Hazardous chemicals. So here how we can identify an hazardous chemicals. Already I mentioned you the properties, that is flammability, explosibility or reactivity, corrosivity and the toxicity. So based on these properties, a chemical is classified as an hazardous chemical. So some chemical that have an fire hazard, some chemical may have an explosive hazard, some chemical may react to the atmosphere or react to violently when mixed with water, and some chemical will have the corrosive effect and some chemical will have a toxic effect. So based on this, we have a safety data sheet. Normally earlier it was called as material safety data sheet. Now it is addressed as a safety data sheet. Based on the safety data sheet of the particular chemical, we can identify how hazardous is that particular chemical. And also based on the following factors: the quantity of the chemical, the routes of exposure, and the dose and the duration of exposure. So based on this, we can identify whether the chemical falls under hazardous chemical or non-hazardous chemical. Exposure limits. So normally we will get exposed to that particular chemicals that is used in the industrial process, which is termed as the maximum airborne concentration of a toxic substance to which a worker, it may not be a toxic substance, it may be a chemical substance, an hazardous chemical substance to which a worker can be exposed over a period of time without suffering any harmful consequences. Say for example, OSHA has developed a PEL, permissible exposure limit, and NIOSH, National Institute of Safety and Health, have developed recommended exposure limit, and ACGIH, American Conference of Governmental Industrial Hygienists, they have developed a TLV, threshold limit value, and short-term exposure limit. So the chemicals, they are being prescribed. So to this level only we have to get exposed. Beyond that, it may give adverse effects. So that is what all these agencies, OSHA, NIOSH and ACGIH are telling. The final one. So how chemical is getting in our body? Main thing is the routes of entry. One is through the skin absorption, and another one is through the inhalation, and next one is ingestion, and another one is injection. So these are the major routes of entry to which we are exposed, by which we are exposed to the chemicals, and in turn this will give the effects. So based on the hazardous nature of the chemical or else the substance or material, the individual is getting affected. Remaining things we'll see in the next module. Thank you.